We welcome you all once again to this virtual gathering. I would like to give you PowerPoint presentation, and let us start this PowerPoint presentation with a good thought, good quotation given by Charles Darwin. It is not the strongest of the species that survived, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change. What a wonderful quotation, wonderful thought given by Charles Darwin. You read it once again. It is not the strongest of the species that survived. So if you observe in the society, the people, those who are leading, those who are in the good position are not the strongest people. Even if you observe carefully, not the people, those who are very intelligent. So that's what it says. It's not the strongest of the species, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to the change. So the people, those who can adopt the change, can settle very well, can become really successful people. Let me elaborate this. You see, the people around us, after coming to certain stage, they would strike. Beyond that, they cannot develop their activities, even their business, their mental abilities, because they could not able to adopt the changes that are happening in the society. Even you too, the students, you see, you are very much habituated to offline classes from your childhood, right? Now, because of this pandemic, online classes started. Some students could not able to adopt this, the new technology, attending to the classes virtually. They will remain there. Whereas, if you people adopt the change, if you accept the new technology, then definitely you too can flourish. You too can become a very good ranker. Most of the people used to curse the pandemic around us, right? The pandemic arose because of this COVID. How there are two sides for a coin? I say there are two sides even for this pandemic. The one side, of course, I need not tell you. You know pretty well how world is suffering. But there is the other side. If you look at the things with positive perspective, really it's a blessing. What way it is blessing it is? All the companies, all the institutions started utilizing this technology. Even you see, previously about some 3 to 4 years back, the students, those who are in rural, could not able to get the classes, online classes. But because of this pandemic, everybody started using internet, started using YouTube, started listening to the best lectures available on YouTube, and started becoming day by day better. That's why at the outset, what I would like to tell you, all of you guys, one thing. Don't think that I am weak. Don't think that I am not intelligent. Did not bother all this. If you are really responsive to change. If you are in a position to adopt the changes that are occurring in the society, definitely one day you will become better guys. Right? So that's why I felt like sharing this thought. It's not the strongest of the species that survived, nor the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to change, given by Charles Darwin from The Origin of Species. Right, guys? Let us move on to the next slide. So this is a wonderful circle. Mostly, some of you might have observed. Right. What is this circle? Circle to elevate yourself. This circle is divided into three segments. One small segment, we know that we know. Right? And another medium segment, we know that we do not know. And there is one more segment, we do not know that we do not. What is this? We know that we know that we do not know, we do not know that we do not know. Appearing a bit clumsy, right? But I tell you in a detail. It's a wonderful circle to elevate yourself. Okay. Let me give you one example. Right. I know how to ride a bicycle. Right. So this particular point, in my life lies in the small sector. We know that we know. I know that I know how to ride bicycle. Right. So that lies in the small sector. Then I will tell you one more question. That is, how to prepare a dynamo. How to prepare a dynamo. You just assume that I do not. Then obviously that lies in the medium sector, right? So that particular point lies in we know that we do not. Then seriously, all of you guys, you please try to give one example which lies in we do not know that we do not know. We do not know that we do not know. Can anyone of you give me one example in that? Seriously, you start thinking. If you are in a position to give one example, mean you are not able to analyze this. Sorry to say, don't feel bad. Okay, but if your answer is that if you do not know, then you are really good. Your analytical thinking is really good. Because I do not know that I do not know. Then how can I give example in this big segment, big sector? I cannot give even a single example, right? Then, you see, being human beings, what is our role? What is our duty? We should interact with the people around. We should see the society with our observation. We should come to know what all the points we do not know. Right, guys? Then you may be seriously thinking, so being physics professor, why you are talking about this circle, sir? Why you are talking about this circle? Maybe surprising. The many students used to think like, I know everything, I have prepared well, there is nothing like that. No, in everybody's life, the area that do not know is very, very huge. Then, by utilizing various resources, we should bring some of the points to the region of we know that we do not know. Okay, for example, I tell you one concept. Like a complicated concept, like a particle in the box. okay, which comes from quantum mechanics, right? Did you hear that? The particle in the box, a different concept. Generally, students will learn in the MSc physics, right? So far you do not know that particular concept. Now when I had expressed, then so you came to know that, oh, there is one concept, a particle in the box from quantum mechanics. So that my point shifted from do not know that, do not know to know that, do not know, right? Then you will start learning. You will refer so many textbooks. You may watch YouTube. Then you will understand what is that concept. Of course, don't be scared. I am not going to teach you that particle in the box from quantum mechanics. Okay, then that particular point will shift to we know that. Why I am telling you this point it is the most of the failures in a person is mainly because of their ignorance, mainly because of the thing that they live in do not know that do not know region. They live in the region of do not know that do not know. That's why, please, all of you students and my dear parents, even I would like to appeal to all the parents also, because every person, every human being should be a good learner till the last breath, right? That's why utilize all the resources and try to increase the small sector. When that small sector becomes a big sector, then nothing but you are elevated. There is a reason you see, use the best resources to elevate yourself. I said, right, guys? Yes. Let us move on to the next slide. Okay, and I am coming to our business, that is KSET examination pattern, and in 2021 how it would be. I hope students you are aware of this, right? As per the new timetable given, okay, this KSET examination is going to happen on this August 28th and 29th, that is on Saturday and Sunday, and 10:30 to 11:50 biology, and 2:30 to 3:50 mathematics. Thereafter on Sunday it is 10:30 to 11:50 and 2:30 to 3:50 physics and chemistry, right? So the duration of the examination for this case set is 80 minutes, and you are supposed to attempt 60 bits, and all the 4 sessions are 4 different sessions only. Okay, unlike to your NEET examination, unlike to your JEE examination, unlike to your KVPY examinations, the speciality of this CET examination is separate sessions for separate subjects. Physics 1 session, chemistry 1 session, like that. So you have to evaluate a method how you have to answer 60 questions within the stipulated time given, that is 80 minutes, right? Then anyway, in my session I am going to tell you how you have to tackle the physics, right? Then anyway, this examination is pen and paper based examination, and it is objective examination. 60 objective questions will be given to you. Okay, and 1 mark for each question, and there is no negative. So you can make use of this. No, there is no negative marking. Therefore, suppose if the time did not permit you to answer all the questions, still if 4 to 5 questions are left out, blindly, no problem. What is there? You enjoy it. It is a privilege from KCET, right? You just go on marking either 1, 1, 1 or A, B, C, like that. Okay. If your luck is really good, you may get a few marks out of that, and you can improve your ranking, right, guys? Yes, let us move on to the next slide. Then here I am showing you the KSET previous years analysis. This is very, very important. Guys, you see, from first year, you are going to get roughly 15 questions out of 60. Roughly, I am saying one bit, little that way, this way may change. Right. And from second year, you are going to get 45 questions. 45 questions. Right. So if you look at this chart, complete chart, you can see that in the previous years also, hope you are able to see. Okay, even I am moving the cursor also, you can see from motion in plane. Okay, in 2020, they have given one question. There are two questions, sorry. And even in 2017, two questions they have given. 2016, two questions given. So it clearly indicates that there are all possibilities to get more number of questions, particularly from this topic. That is motion in plane. Right, guys? And from the rest of the topics, that is units and measurements, motion in straight line, and from work energy power, you will get one question from each chapter. Right, guys? Let us see the next slide. Then gravitation. Gravitation, one bit. Mechanical properties of solids, one bit. Okay, mechanical properties of fluids. I have to tell you very specifically about this topic. This is a very big topic. You can expect one question, particularly from fluid statics, and one more question from fluid dynamics. Fluid dynamics. Okay, guys. So this is from first year. Mechanical properties of fluids is very, very important topic. So you please pay attention to this. Okay, and I'm confining myself only to CASET and COMEDK, as I was invited to give presentation, particularly on CASET and COMEDK. Right, guys? Yes, let us move on to the next slide. Then kinetic theory. From kinetic theory of gases, of course, it is one oscillations, one waves, one. So I hope at the outset you might have understood only from the bigger topics like motion in plane, maybe system of particles, and mechanical properties of fluids. They may ask two questions, whereas from the all other remaining topics, there is a possibility to ask only one question in KSET. Right, guys? Yes. Thereafter, let us see from the second year how they are asking questions. Mostly by looking at the numbers, you may raise your eyebrows. Right, guys? Yes, you see. Electric charges and fields, 4 questions will come. Electric potential and capacitance, 4. Current electricity is such a wonderful and very, very important topic. From second year, current electricity and semiconductors, ray optics, wave optics, okay, moving charges and mechanism, these are very, very important topics. So while you are reading, you schedule yourself in such a way you spend more time for these topics. Then you can score better. And to tell you the difficulty level, out of 60 questions, most of the students, particularly when it comes to physics, they used to have a lot of phobia and fear. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Physics is a different subject. It is not a difficult subject. Okay, even I'll show you what kind of models they will ask even in the exam question. Okay, so here when it comes to second year, okay, the important topics already I told you: current electricity, moving charges and magnetism, ray optics, wave optics, semiconductors. Those are very big topics. Okay, and you will get even more number of questions. So if you schedule yourself of covering the concepts in such a way that you spend more time, then cracking CET becomes very, very easy. right? Even if you observe out of 60, don't think that all 60 will be difficult. Almost 35 to 40 questions will be very easy. You believe it or not, such a easy questions you will get. Thereafter, maybe another 15 to 20 medium level questions. And another 5 questions only, hardly 5 questions, they will give little applicative, maybe bit different problems, not difficult problems. Right. So in CET, it is very easy to score 60 out of 60. Really, if you plan, need not take that much. You need not become panic. Right. Really, even if you score more than 130 marks, 140 marks out of 3 subjects, 3 into 60, 180 marks, you know pretty well, right? Even if you cross 130, 140, you will get the best rank, almost less than 5,000 ranking you can get. And you can get into the best engineering colleges like RV, PESET, and locally in Davangere, the one best engineering college is BIET college, because after coming here, so I have seen the notice board, what are the companies visiting BIET and how many students got the placements, right? So you can join in such a kind of good engineering college once if you cross 130 out of 180 in CET. And in physics, even if you score more than 35 marks, definitely you will get wonderful rank. Okay, guys, let us move on to the next slide. So you can see alternating current 3 and electromagnetic waves is a very small topic, and you can expect a theoretical bit, particularly from electromagnetic waves. From ray optics, wave optics, you will get good questions. Okay, guys. Yes. Let us move on to the next slide. Atoms. This is a very tiny topic, very small topic, but at the same time, higher weightage topic. You can see previous years also. You see 2020, they have given 4 questions, particularly from atoms. And 2019, 3 questions they have given. And 2018, 2 questions they have given. So in all the almost previous years, a good number of questions given, particularly from this topic, that is atoms. So guys, you see, those who wants to get suitably, reasonably good rank, okay, prepare well these topics: atoms, nuclei, and semiconductors. They have removed a lot of syllabus from semiconductors. Okay, while preparing also, you see, prepare smartly. You just keep away all the deleted syllabus. Okay, because of this pandemic, the government officially they have removed a lot of syllabus, keeping aside the entire syllabus. The remaining syllabus only you try to fix. Communication systems completely they kept aside. Right, guys? Yes. Then let us move on to the next slide. COMEDK. COMEDK. It's the entrance test. Okay. Entrance test, computer based test it is. Okay, whereas CET it is offline, pen and paper test, whereas this COMEDK is online examination, computer based test. Okay, guys, so if you do not have any kind of experience in attending online examinations, there are so many portals, of course, in online you can have some practice. Even they give question papers, they give almost the same virtual experience as that of the COMEDK, right? Before facing the final examination, you can take that experience, and later on you can attend this COMEDK entrance examination, right? And some of the meritorious students used to have a feeling like, anyway, I can crack CET, I can crack the NEET, I can crack JEE, then why should I write COMEDK? My sincere suggestion to all of you is even you write down COMEDK also. COMEDK also. Why it is in some occasions, you may get good rank in CET, but you may not get the branch which you choose in the college which you want to join. Then in such case, if you have good rank from COMEDK, because COMEDK will be a bit easier compared to the CET, right? So with the help of COMEDK entrance examination, by cracking a good rank, you can join in your favorite branch and in a good college, because your branch is very important. Your branch is very important. That is going to give a good tag, and that is going to give finally the placements. That's why, of course, I'm not advising you people to join this branch, that branch, and all. But once after completion of all these entrance examination, have thorough study and try to join in a branch where you really you can flourish and you can do wonders. Right, guys? Yes. Thereafter, let us move on to the next slide. Test pattern of COMEDK. Anyway, in the COMEDK entrance examination will happen in one session, whereas CET happens in 4 sessions. Okay, and COMEDK in one session where physics, chemistry, mathematics subjects, okay, will be held, and 3 into 60, 180 questions you are supposed to attempt, and the examination will be held only in English medium, and each correct answer will be awarded 1 mark, and there will be no negative marking for wrong answers. However, in the event of tie, okay, and this is the information I got it from the official web portal. Okay, so however, in the event of a tie in the test score, the principle of least negative responses will be adopted. Okay, mean the students, those who committed less number of mistakes, will be given a better ranking. For example, let me tell you, out of 180 marks, if 2 students, X and Y, score 160 upon 160, then whom to be given a better ranking is, suppose if X commits less number of negative responses, then X will be given a better ranking. Even after that, still if there is a tie, then they will find out various methods, like who scored good marks in physics, who scored good marks later on in chemistry. So in this sequence, they proceed to give better ranking. Okay, guys. Yes. Let us move on to the next slide. Next slide. That is, know the limits of preparation to give your best, irrespective of your preparation. Know the limits of preparation, and this is very important. Even though you are very intelligent, some occasions you used to score a less rank because you do not know the limits of preparation. As a bright student, as a very good student, if you try to read from first page to last page, then the time is not enough. Then definitely you cannot complete the syllabus, you cannot get a good rank. That's why one should know the limits of preparation to give your best. Irrespective of your potential, you may be a bright student, you may be a bit slow learner, doesn't matter. Then what are the limits? What you have to focus? Okay, that is, you see NCERT textbooks. Whoever may set the question paper, you remember this particular point, guys. Whoever may set the question paper, they will be given only NCERT textbooks, not XYZ materials. Some institutions, they used to elevate their institutions like all the questions are given only from our material. Okay, and some publications used to say like all the questions are from our books only. You please refer our books. Nothing like that. Even some of my friends are in the they are the paper setters. Okay, for PU examination. Even the last year, of course, I should not reveal the name of the lecturer. One of my best friend is a paper setter in the last year, NEET 2020. Okay, a government college lecturer who is best friend of mine was a paper setter. He told specifically they give only NCERT textbooks, NCERT exemplar book, and from those they are supposed to set all the questions, right? So that's why what I recommend you is NCERT textbooks are just like Bhagavad Gita's, Bible, Quran, whatever it may be, your religion. How seriously we read those Bhagavad Gita's, Quran, Bible and all, that much seriously a PU student should read NCERT textbooks. Right, later on, NCERT exemplar book you have to read. If your aim is seriously CET or COMEDK, then in the exemplar book, there are multiple choice questions 1 and multiple choice questions 2. If these two, if you focus enough. And there are even short answer questions, long answer questions. Those for time being, because the time which is left out may not permit you to solve all the problems. That's why my sincere suggestion to all of you is please solve MCQ1 and MCQ2s from NCERT exam. Okay, guys. Then one more suggestion I would like to give you. This is very important. If at all you want to crack the best rank in physics, okay, in CET, and by doing very good in physics, that is formula book. You should have your own formula book. In the course of 2 years, you should have developed your own formula book, because if you take in the CET examination, out of 60 questions, almost 55 to 56 questions will be numericals, and the rest, maybe 3 to 4, are conceptual questions. All numericals you can solve very comfortably, provided if you have very good command on formulae. And my intention is not that learn only formulae, and even the parameters present in that formula also. For example, if you take E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R square, right? What is that E? Intensity of electric field. What is that epsilon naught? Permittivity of free space. And what is its value? What is that Q? Q is the magnitude of the point charge. And what is that R? R is the distance between the point charge and observation point. So that is how, if you learn formulae, then solving numericals is much easier than attempting your conceptual questions. Right, guys? Yes. Then, previous years. Most of you may not know what kind of questions will come in the CET. You can understand if you make a glance at previous year's questions. Okay, you just go back to the last 5 years, from 2015 to 2020. Last 5 years, what kind of questions they have asked. If you make a glance, then you can understand better, right? So don't forget this particular point. Previous year's questions are very important. Right, guys? Next, let us move on to the next slide. Here, I would like to show you the different model of questions will arise particularly for CET examination. I'm confining myself only to CET and COMEDK. So that's why I brought few examples, few problems. Okay, what kind of problems they will ask. Okay, and the models are common. The students used to look at every concept in as some different concept, but as a physics lecturer, what I used to see, like in every chapter there will be a different formulae, but based on the different formulae, the same kind of questions will arise. What are those types of questions will arise, right? Let us see those. Now you can see the first question. Magnetic field at the center of a coil of 1 turn in the form of a circle of radius 1.414 centimeter carrying a current of 1.414 ampere is. You believe it or not, by looking at this question, you may think like, sir, this is very simple question. Okay, do we get this kind of problems in the CET? Definitely you will get this kind of problems, not beyond these. Such a simple questions you will get, right? So magnetic field due to a circular coil at the center formula you know pretty well, that is B is equal to mu naught Ni by 2r, right? Just substitute what is the current given, what is the radius given, then you will get the answer. You will get the answer once if you calculate it. Right, guys? Next, let us move on to the next slide. And vector type questions. Vector type questions. Whenever you learn any formula, you observe what is that physical quantity, whether it is a vector quantity or scalar quantity. If it is vector quantity, don't forget to learn that particular formula even in vector method. Okay, for that, the best example you see, BIET you know pretty well. Majority of the students used to read that particular as dB is equal to mu naught by 4 pi ideal divided by ideal sine theta divided by r square, right? That's how we used to study. But the same thing in vector form, you can write down as mu naught I by 4 pi dl sine theta can be written as dl bar cos r bar divided by r cube, vector form, right? Please refer our notebooks. So then fourth option is the right option. And you see, even to so that you can understand, even I mentioned in which year they have given. Last year, KSET 2020 they have given. Okay, such a simple bit they have given in the last year, right, guys? Next, you can see the next slide. A long cylinder wire of radius r carries a uniform current I flowing through it. The variation of magnetic field with distance r from the axis of wire is shown by. Okay, this is graph type question, and even for your information to tell you, this is even misleading questions. Misleading questions. So many students used to think like up to surface there is no magnetic field, and beyond the surface of the cylindrical wire magnetic field decreases, okay, as there is inversely proportional to r, right? So that is how they used to get a kind of confusion. But if it is hollow, what you are thinking is right. Up to surface magnetic induction field will be 0. If it is not hollow, then there will be magnetic field even inside the cylindrical wire, right, guys? So up to surface that magnetic field increases linearly, B proportional to R. So up to capital R, B proportional to R, right? So you see, this is the answer. From center to the surface, B proportional to R. Beyond the surface, B decreases, right? So this kind of graph related problems, definitely you can see one problem. Okay, guys, you can see that's what solution also I have given, right? Then let us see one more. This is such a simple question. Current carrying long conductors A and B carry currents 1 ampere and 2 ampere respectively. Find the ratio of perpendicular distances from conductors A and B when the ratio of magnetic fields due to them is 4:5. Right. Here, this is based on ratio type. You see, B proportional to I, inversely proportional to R. Therefore, you can write as mu naught by 2 pi constant. So, B1 by B2 is equal to I1 by I2 into I1 by I2 into R2 by R1. Here, a small mistake arised. R2 by R1. Okay, I hope you can understand, guys. So, by substituting, what is the ratio of magnetic fields, ratio of currents, you can get the final answer. Right? So I hope there is a small mistake. Hope you can understand. Right? Okay. In the typing, okay, our computer operators might have gone a bit wrong. Hope you can solve the problem. Right, guys? Yes. Let us see the next. Based on superposition principle, you will be asked to find the resultant force, resultant intensity of electric field, resultant magnetic field, resultant mechanical force, resultant current, like this. Then you need to apply superposition principle. You look at the physical quantity, whether it is a vector quantity or scalar quantity. If it is a vector quantity, add vectorially. If the physical quantity is scalar, add algebraically, just like numbers you just add. Now, if you look at this problem, in the given figure, the magnetic field at O is. At this point, what is the magnetic field? You know pretty well, magnetic field is a vector quantity, right? You need to find magnetic field due to this long wire at one end, and you need to find magnetic field due to this the 3/4 circle, right? Then again, you need to find magnetic field due to this particular. But due to this particular part, magnetic field here is 0. Therefore, you need to find magnetic field only due to this long conductor and this 3/4 of the circle. So both put together, this particular and this particular. So this is the answer and option, third option you will get. Okay, guys. Next, you see silly mistakes. What kind of silly mistakes you commit in the examination? And even this question also you can see last year they have given this particular question. Last year they have given this particular question. One end of a string of length L is connected to a particle of mass M and the other to a small peg on a smooth horizontal table. If the particle moves in circle with speed v, the net force on the particle directed towards the center is. Okay, even so many students in our institution also. Okay, last year, even meritorious students I am talking. Meritorious students also committed mistake. Some students have written T minus mv square by L, and some students have written 0, and some have written T plus mv square by L. But the right answer is T. Tension provides necessary centripetal force. So the force that is acting towards the center is the tension. That provides necessary centripetal force. That T is equal to mv square by R, or if the radius is equal to length, mv square by L. Therefore, the right answer is T. So when the students do not understand the concept thoroughly, this kind of mistakes will arise. Okay, guys? Yes. Let us see the next slide. This is a very, very important problem. Very, very important. Even this is also asked about some 2-3 years back. Okay, to build the confidence to all of you, particularly I selected problems from previous years only. Right. Two protons are kept at a separation of 10 nanometer, and Fn and Fe be the nuclear force and electromagnetic force between them. So from childhood, almost from 9th standard or 8th standard, you are continuously taught like nuclear force is much greater than all other forces. Nuclear force is the strongest force in the nature. Therefore, most of the students will go for this first option. Fe very much less than Fn. No, because the silly mistake what you may commit here is, you see this, you see 10 nanometer, 10 nanometer. Separation between two protons is 10 nanometer. Mean they are not inside the nucleus, they are outside the nucleus. And you know pretty well, nuclear force is not that much strong outside the nucleus. It is so effective only within the nucleus, that is within the size of 1 Fermi, 1 femtometer, in a size of 10 to the power minus 15 meter, whereas this distance is 10 nanometer, which is much bigger than nucleus. So they are outside the nucleus. And obviously outside the nucleus, you know pretty well, electric force is much greater than nuclear force. Therefore, the right answer is Fe is very much greater than Fn. Right? So you please use your resources. There are plenty of assignments in the internet. This kind of silly questions and applicative questions, graph-based questions. Right, problems based on differentiation and integration, based on calculus. All those problems you make a class, then definitely you can improve your ranking better, and you can become a fancy ranker also. Right, guys? Because once if you score like 170 plus, then damn sure you can join your in your dream college, in your dream branch. Thereafter, sky is the limit. Particularly for engineers, I don't know. I don't know. Let me tell you very openly, because I never talk for the sake of the people or the students. What is there inside that concept? Okay, that is, the people are very mad for NEET. But it is a very lengthy process. Okay, you have to complete MBBS, then again house surgeon, internship you have to complete, then again 2 years PG, thereafter again super specialty. Almost you will touch age of 32 or 33. Even if you crack all the examinations, that is UG NEET, PG NEET, and super specialty, all the entrance examinations, even if you crack very systematically, even then you will touch 33 or 34. Whereas engineering not like that. Okay, so once after finishing your engineering course, within 4 years, you will start earning. And particularly if you join in good engineering colleges, then sky is the limit. Sky is the limit. There are many of my students right now, even they did not cross age of some 25 or 26, they are earning not less than some 35 lakhs per annum. I mean, per month almost it is 3 lakhs. They are not even married. They are already earning such a kind of good salaries by completing their dream branches in dream colleges, right? So that opportunity you will get, provided if you crack your GET examination very effectively, and even by taking all the precautions, if you score better. Okay, guys, yes, let us move on to the next slide. Okay, here you see such a wonderful silly question. It is light of frequency 1.5 times the threshold frequency is incident on a photosensitive material. What will be the photoelectric current if the frequency is half and intensity is different? Many people will think photoelectric current, of course, is directly proportional to intensity of incident radiation, right? When intensity doubled, photoelectric current doubled. So most of the students will go for the option double. This is really a silly question, a very big silly question. They forget that light of frequency 1.5 times of threshold frequency, and it is made half. You see, frequency is half. 1.5 times of threshold frequency, when it is made half, that becomes 0.75 times of threshold frequency. If incident radiation has frequency less than threshold frequency, first of all, photoelectric effect will not happen. Photoelectric emission will not happen. So no ejection of electrons, then there won't be any current at all. That's why the answer is 0. Right answer is 0. So they forget that frequency is 0. Right, guys? Next, let us see one more silly question here. The displacement of a particle executing simple harmonic motion is given by this y is equal to a naught plus a sin omega t plus b cos omega t. Then amplitude of its oscillation is. Okay, many people used to get a confusion. So, what to do with this a naught? What to do with this a naught? Need not worry. This a naught is a steady component in the oscillations, right? So, these are the two oscillating components. And by looking at sin omega t and cos omega t, you can understand that the two oscillations are perpendicular. Therefore, resultant amplitude will be under root a square plus b square. Like when two vectors, because amplitude is also after all a vector only, na? Right? When two vectors are perpendicular, then square root of f1 square plus f2 square whole, right? With the help of parallelogram law of vector addition, in the similar way here, under root a square plus b square is the right answer. So option 2 is the right answer. Right, guys? Next, another very important question here. A 220 volts of AC supply is connected between the points A and B as shown in the figure. What will be the potential difference V across the capacitor? Okay, then students generally used to forget this AC, 200 volts AC. And from the beginning of the topics, lecturers used to drive like a capacitor blocks DC, capacitor blocks DC. They forget this, and finally they go for the answer 0. No. This is actually a capacitor acts like a filter. Right. So once after the AC value reaches a peak, this capacitor will not allow that peak value to come down. Almost steady value will be there. That's why you see at this place the output will be peak value. Therefore, you see this 220 volts is RMS value. You know pretty well VRMS is equal to V naught by root 2. Right? So 220 is equal to V naught divided by root 2. When you cross multiply, so peak value is 220 root 2. And across this, you get peak value. So answer is 220 root 2. Okay, guys. So this kind of the silly questions generally students used to commit. Right. Then, so many students used to have the physics is such a lengthy topic, complicated concept. Used to have a lot of phobia. When you look at the concept in a single perspective, and if you start synchronizing the concepts, really you can enjoy physics. You will love physics. You will, while you are getting the answers, that happiness is altogether different. So your job is to synchronize the entire subject. Synchronize. What is meant by synchronization? So don't try to look at the concepts as separate concepts. For example, you take here electric property, magnetic. Electric charge, here pole strength. Constant 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, here mu naught by 4 pi. So here you are dealing with intensity of electric field, here you are dealing with magnetic induction field. Here electric potential, there magnetic potential. Here electric force, here magnetic force between two poles. Right? So this is a lot of symmetry between electricity and magnetism. Right, guys? Then in a similar way, even if you continue the slide, you can see the relation between E and V. Here potential difference. Okay, and what is the potential for a short pole? Here magnetic potential for a short pole. So a lot of comparison between electricity and magnetism. So don't try to learn these two topics as two separate topics. You try to learn them as single topic. Then you can save a lot of time. Right, yes, yes. Let us move on to even the next slide. You see, you have got loaded spring in your first year, first PUC, maybe in the 11th standard, and LC oscillations in your second PUC, 12th standard, right? When you try to learn the two concepts as two separate concepts, it becomes complicated. Whereas, even if this LC oscillations, if you by synchronizing with loaded spring, if you learn this LC oscillations, becomes such a wonderful, easy concept, right, guys? Anyway, loaded spring generally most of the students used to remember, right? So synchronize LC oscillations with loaded spring and try to learn it. It becomes very, very easy. Okay, then here, what are the methods of preparation? What are the methods of preparation? How you have to prepare? Schedule your syllabus. And many students used to think like, okay, so far I did not study anything. Whether can I crack CET rank or not? Need not worry. At least whatever is happened is happened. You leave it. At least hereafter, still you have almost 1.5 months time, right, guys? This 1.5 months, you plan properly, schedule your syllabus. How many chapters still you have to cover, and as per the weightage you try to prepare. It is not the you don't try to read for the sake of others. You try to read for yourself. Okay. The qualitative study is very, very important, not the quantitative study. How many hours you are sitting and studying is not important. How many hours very effectively you are learning is very, very right. That's what I mean to say. Use your time productively. Right, guys. Then, while you are solving problems, many students, this is the mistake what I have observed in the students, most of the students, because almost I have got an experience of more than 20 years. 2001 I have finished my post graduation. For the last almost 20 years I'm in this sector only, training particularly PU students, +1 and +2 students for various competitive examinations, right? They used to all the time read concept. Or otherwise, some students solve problems. Both are wrong. Both are wrong. What you have to do is, once after listening to the lecture, anyway, that is all over, right? As 2 years of your course is completed, hereafter what you have to do, that I will tell you. Make a quick glance at synopsis. You might be having your own notes, you might be having your own material. Make a glance at synopsis. Quick glance, max to max, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Then go on hitting the problems, solve problems, and face as many exams as possible. Right? If you are scoring better, then move on to the next topic. That is how, as per your schedule, you try to keep on finishing the topics. Suppose for any reason, if you fail to solve a particular problem in a concept, then once again read the concept thoroughly. Because you have to have good grip on the concept, then you have to solve the problems. If you are able to solve the problems, mean you have very good command of the concept. That's what I said here. In the 4th point, you can see, guys, problem solving skills measures your depth and command on the subject. Okay, guys, yes, this is methods of preparation. So at outset, what I would like to tell you is, make a glance at the concept or synopsis, solve the problems, and face as many exams as possible. Next, let us move on to the next slide. Right? Then wrong methods of preparation. Here, what are the mistakes committed by many students? It is changing the materials. About 15 days, they solve one material, then they switch over to one more material. They switch over to one more material. Like this, they will be keep on changing the materials. It is very big blunder. When you solve a material, you will get some 70% of it, right? When you change material, once again you will solve the same 70% of the material, but you will not cover the rest of that 30%. Right? That's why what you have to do is solve a material. In the second revision, solve one more time the same material. Third revision, you have time, then solve the same material. But you should not change materials. Changing materials is a wrong method of preparation. Right? And as you have got very, very less time hereafter, do not focus on derivations, because you know pretty well in the physics, based on the final conclusions, you used to get limits, right? So this is not the time to look after derivations, right? And some students used to have low self-esteem, very low self-esteem. So I did not prepare well. What will happen? What kind of rank I will get? All these, they used to have low self-esteem. No, keep it aside. This is the competitive examination. Competitive examination you are facing, right? Whatever possibilities, whatever difficulties you have, the same difficulties, same possibilities are there even to your friends. So your job is to do little better compared to your friends. That's it. You will get better. I would like to tell you here one small story. One small story. That is very simple story. Okay, you might have listened to this story also. That is, the two persons are running in a forest because a lion is just behind. Then one fellow starts adjusting his shoes and tying his lace. Then the other fellow sarcastically laughs at the first fellow and asks him, is this the right time to look after your shoes and tying lace, that, this and all? You fool, you are doing a mistake. Then the first fellow responds to the second fellow like, my competition is not with the lion. My competition is not with the one who is just behind. My competition is with you. Even if I am 1 feet ahead than you, by wearing proper shoes with all the facilities, then the lion will catch you. I will be safe. Right, guys? So what I mean to say here, you will be compared with your friends in your family. So try to do better than your friends. You will be compared with your classmates. You try to do better than your classmates. Whatever profession you may be, try to give your best. Try to be better than your surrounding people. Then automatically you will get maximum opportunities. You can grab opportunities and you can become better. Why do you have low self-esteem, right? So keep aside that low self-esteem that I did not work. Okay, the facilities, the time, everything is same for you and even for your friends. Right, guys? Next, you see, restless and late night studies. So many students used to study without taking any breaks. And night up to 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, to 2 o'clock, they used to study. It is of no use, I'm telling you. You do not know, guys. Okay, even you recollect your marks in your school level, you might have scored very well. You might be toppers one or the other examination, but because of the wrong methods you have adopted, maybe your performance might have come down. In that one amount is restless and late night study. When you are given, when you take proper rest, your brain starts functioning very effectively. Okay, even here I would like to tell you one simple story also here also. That is, two persons are asked to cut a tree. Two persons are asked to cut a tree. Then the one without taking any break, with restless, he is keep on cutting the tree. Whereas the other one, he is taking bit breaks and in between he is sharpening his axe to cut the tree. Generally, we think that the fellow who is restless will crack better, he will cut the tree early. But in actual practice, what happens is the fellow who is taking breaks and who is sharpening his axe in between can cut the tree early than the fellow who is working restless. Right, guys? So, from this, what you have to understand is when you are given sufficient to your brain, when you do sufficient rest, it starts functioning so effectively, you can understand the concepts in a short span. That's why happily relax and study and try to give the best. And now the world is with so many opportunities, you believe it or not. Definitely for your ability, one of the opportunities you will hit, definitely finally you will get that settlement. Right, guys? Then let us move on to one more slide. Okay, that is never, never, never give up. Told by Winston Churchill. So, what a wonderful orator he is, a wonderful speaker, Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill. I would like to tell you for the small thing happened regarding this Winston Churchill. He's such a tall guy, almost 6 feet height. A tall guy, as he is a very good orator, he was asked to give a speech in a very big gathering. Right. Then whole crowd gathered there. Whole crowd gathered there. Everybody is eagerly waiting for his speech. Then Winston Churchill, he went to the podium. Then he spoke only one sentence, that is, never, never, never give up. Then he came back and he settled in his position. Then the entire gathering was in confusion. What is happening? We expected a very big speech from Winston Churchill. Instead of giving very big speech, he spoke only one thing: never, never, never give up. And he settled in his position. 2 minutes, the whole gathering was quiet. Then they started analyzing what is the meaning of this never, never, never give up. Then they came to know. Wow. Irrespective of field, the field in which the people are working, they should never give up. If you are a student, never give up. Keep working, keep working. If you are an employee, keep working, never give up. You will get so many difficulties. Right? Never give up. Okay, if you are having some health issue, then never give up. Try to find a solution. Definitely, one day or the other, you will overcome the difficulty. Right, guys? So, that much importance is there for the word given by Winston Churchill, that is never, never, never give up. Right, guys? Then finally, you see, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. So many students used to think like the time is small, very, very less. How can I prepare? No. Still, if you plan the rest of the time properly, definitely you can crack wonderful CET rank and you can join in your dream college. So start your journey. Start your journey. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Right, guys? So from your end, that commencement is required. Once if you start, definitely you will reach your goal. Right, guys? Then hope you enjoyed this session. I felt very, very happy in interacting with all of you guys. And from my side, all the best. Hope you will get good success and you will flourish in your life and you will get very good ranks. Okay. All the best. And finally, I thank the administrators and the director of BIET Engineering College for giving this wonderful opportunity virtually to interact with all of you guys. Thank you, one and all. Thank you very much.